Welcome back, beautiful people, to the House of Moody Vintage podcast. And this is actually my second try, and thank goodness I picked up on this technical glitch before I just rambled on. It is episode 48. We're just a couple more episodes until we hit the big 5-0, you know, feeling grown and adultish. This was a somewhat of an emotional week. Not like dramatic emotional, but a little bit of roller coaster going on and a lot of realizations and interesting happenings in life, which I will get into, of course. And as usual, the second half of the episode, we will be talking about, of course, the recommendation of the week, a quick review of a movie on Netflix, actually recommendation of the week and Netflix both. And the movie that I'm talking about are both on Netflix. So we'll get to that anyways. And then I also want to just quickly share, I've always wanted to, I guess, you know, jot it down when it came to it, especially with the Last of Us that, of course, just came in. I will also talk a quick review of episode 3, of course. What a fantastic episode. We'll get to that in a bit. But again, second half. But yeah, I did want to, because of The Last of Us, I don't know if it will go down as one of my top 10 HBO original shows, but I wanted to talk about my top 10 HBO original shows, and something, I know some of the shows that you've probably never watched or have even heard of, which is fine. Again, there's so much content out there, so it's very difficult. But HBO has a long history of, you know, incredible television, award-winning television, so we will get to that, my top 10. And The Last of Us is obviously not in it. It's only been 3 episodes, so come on. And yeah, so but we'll get into that, of course, later on. What we will start off with, just looking quickly back at last week. You know, there's I find myself, along with my friends, we're sort of on the kind of around the same phase, sphere kind of thing. Where we're making these, like, or maybe we're not making. I think it's like it's a combination of factors, right? We're making certain choices, and there are things that are out of our control that have taken place, and we're sort of having to navigate through these challenges and new barriers that's come into our lives. So that you know, like over the past weekend, I stayed over with one of my Bangkok mains. And just had a great time because we haven't really properly hung out, you know, in quite some time. And we didn't have one of those nights, you know, we used to spend the whole day together, hang out together, you know, work together. We'd have our work sessions and of course, just chill sessions and, you know, drinking and, you know, rolling the blunt, you know. That's not that crazy. It's, you know, I mean, we rolling stuff. But, but, you know, it was a proper, like, a grown-up, old-ass kind of hangout, you know what I mean? Just chilling at home. It was needed. Sometimes you really need that just down-to-earth connection with someone, you know, someone who's close to you in your life, and be it a significant other, be it a, you know, a best friend, a close friend, you know, or family or whoever it is. And, you know, just that wind down, you know, just being home together, sort of, you know, feeding off each other's emotions and motivating each other and being positive, and just that comfort, you know, that comfort level is something that you can't really replace in different situations. And, you know, this past weekend was one of them. And I think a lot of people can relate to that when it comes to, you know, your dynamic with one person is totally different with somebody else, you know, and there's a certain security and comfort in that. And it's something that I didn't realize, but also my other friends have realized, you know, when, you know, you can't necessarily be your 100% self with everybody, which is, it's not saying, you know, it's not like, oh, don't be yourself. Well, you know, people say, oh, you got to be yourself, and just, you know, if people don't accept you and all that. Well, if you're an asshole, no one's going to fucking accept you. If you're an asshole, your friends, who I hope are good friends, will put you on blast and be like, yo, yeah, being an asshole, you need to fucking stop, right? Or this ain't happening. Like, we can't be hanging out. You know what I mean? Regardless of, you know, I can see through your cracks and you're vulnerable inside and carrying all this bullshit. Well, that doesn't mean you can be an asshole to other people around you. Be kind, man. It really doesn't take that much effort, okay? And it's free. All right? Just you don't have to even be like kiss assy kind. Just respect. Be courteous and respectful. All right? It's not that. And anyways, what I was trying to get to is that a friend of mine just realized that there are certain things you can't say. There are a certain behavior that you can't really show with certain people. Everyone has a different dynamic. Everyone has a different type of threshold and comfort and security. So, and you can't. It's not about compromising yourself. It's just sort of considering the other person's feelings, considering the other person's comfort level. You know what I mean? And I would sort of, I'm different because my tolerance level is it's a bit different. I can tolerate certain people to a certain extent, because when you get older, you're like, you're like, yo, man, before I used to put up with your bullshit, but now it's like, bro, I don't even have to say anything. I will leave the room. We ain't got to hang out. We don't have to, associate ourselves with each other. And I've been in those positions before, people who I've even been very, very close with and very close to. I hope you guys didn't hear the train in the background. Apologies. But people who I've been close to, it's a difficult type of situation to be in. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. You want to be cool with everybody whenever you're, whatever situation you're in, however the relationship is with that person. You know what I mean? But sometimes you slip, and sometimes hopefully people will sort of, put up a flag and be like, hey, dude, this happened and I didn't really like, okay, cool. And that kind of sort of connects to something that I wanted to talk about today on the episode, is that I recently sort of reconnected with a very, 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 very old friend of mine, old friend / classmate, whatever. She and I, and this is how crazy it is, she and I had not spoken to each other or seen each other since the 7th or 8th grade, I think, in junior high, or, some places you call it middle school, whatever. Yeah. So we were kids, and it didn't end well either. It's sort of, I don't know what happened. And I just messaged her yesterday, and we sort of agreed because she was thinking the same thing. And I told her, I was like, it's so crazy. After so many years, we are completely different human beings now. When we were kids. But it's crazy how we just picked up. Like, it's sort of like, it's one of those, it's not necessarily like, it's not exactly like when, like, there's a lot of relationships in your life, friends in your life that you've had for a very long time. And you totally have a very mutual understanding, and a mutual respect, to where even though you guys don't talk to each other every day, but that when you do, you just, things just pick right up, like where you left off. Nothing's changed. You're still cool and chill. And everyone, I'm pretty, not everyone, of course, some people are antisocial, which is terrible, but most people do have that connection with at least one person, right? And it's not a bad thing. That's just who we are, because, we have our own lives and they have their own lives. They're dealing with their own shit, and it's no disrespect. It's just that, dude, we have our own things to deal with. But when we do our catch-ups, we can talk for hours, right? And it just felt like, yes, we were just talking about this yesterday, or hanging out with each other yesterday. And it was, a lot of, again, it's that level of comfort, that level of security and that you have with people. And so I sort of have that with this individual who I haven't talked to, and the way things ended, like I said, it wasn't that positive. And excuse me, the reason I say that is because I used to have a huge crush on her, okay? Back in the 6th grade, 6th grade, we went to the same elementary school, and then we went to the same junior high. But something had happened. She doesn't know this. Maybe she knows this because she's experienced it, but things from my perspective. And just for the story's sake, I'm not going to obviously say her name here. Let's just call her Gina. Okay. I don't know if I've used that name before, but anyways, I know there's Ginas. I know Ginas in my life, but this is not those Ginas. This is completely made up. Anyways, the name is not made up, but I can't say her real name. So Gina and I, there was a time, especially in 6th grade, we were really, I don't know, we had a really like dope kind of I don't know if you call it chemistry, but we were super nice to each other. We were flirtatious with each other, like innocent flirtation. And I used to have a huge crush on her, like a huge crush. And she sort of kind of reciprocated that, and we would always exchange, jokes and laughs and smiles and stuff like that. Very dope vibes with her. And she was like, in my opinion at the time, she was the prettiest girl in school, right? Because we have a huge crush on her. And she's still very beautiful, very, very beautiful. But what happened was the summer of 6th grade, right? Summer changes a lot, especially when you're a kid. Some shit happens. When you're an adult, when you get older, you sort of see the transition in your own life and other people's lives, but that takes a while. That might take at least a year, right? At least a year to see a little bit of a difference. But when you're a kid, holy shit, going through summer vacations is usually what, like 2.5 months, maybe. Back in the day, I don't know how it is now, but that's how it was. We were like 2.5 months, almost 3 months. We wouldn't go back to school until September, and our vacation would start in June, right? June, July, August. That was our summer vacation. So yeah, that's essentially 3 months. But so something had happened. So come 7th grade, I see her, and I'm crushing hard. She was my second ever crush, right? And I know a lot of people, I think I would agree that you remember your first crush. Like, I remember my first crush, well, simply because, well, number one, you remember your first crush, and I'm still friends with my first crush, and she has a beautiful family. She's married now, got a couple of kids, so God bless her. Beautiful family. Yeah, so we're still friends, and I've known her since the 1st grade, and so it's kind of similar to Gina, right? Not her real name, Gina, where she had such a huge sort of impact on me, for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe I should talk to a therapist about this, but there are certain people in your life that you just remember, for better or worse, right? You remember because they have some kind of influence or some kind of impact they've had on you. And those are like sort of like the, formidable years, or sort of like very pivotal moments in life, that whether it's a movie or a TV show that you watch, those growing up kind of stories, my mind's going blank. There's literally a term for it. Oh my God, coming of age. There you go. Coming of age stories, right? So we have those type of individuals in our lives that have a huge, it sort of molds us, those kind of connections that we have earlier in life. And she was one of them, and it's sort of stuck with me for a very, very long time, and stuck with me simply because come 7th grade, again, I'm rolling back. I just keep getting freaking diverted there, going into tangents. She was not the same person. Something had happened. Okay. She just became hood. I don't know. She went to East LA or something over the summer. I vaguely remember what she told me. But anyways, so every time I would see her around campus, I would say, hey, Gina. Hi, Gina. Oh, hey, Gina, what's up? How's it going? Da 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 da. And I would make an effort to go out of my way and say, what's up? She did not reciprocate this time. Something had happened. Okay. I'm pretty sure she went through some shit, and I'm pretty sure she's, just like a lot of people, we deal with a lot of trauma, especially women, they deal with heavier trauma. It's very, obviously it's much more difficult for women, but we all got issues, man. And but for some reason that summer it was a whole different type. I don't know what happened. And it got to a point where she made me feel like a bugaboo, like Destiny's Child bugaboo. You know what I'm saying? Like, apparently I was an annoying character. Like, I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to, this is my crush. You know what I mean? So she kind of tried to sick her brother on me, her older brother. And older brother was probably, he was a little, I'm not going to say he was part of a gang. You know what I mean? He wasn't a gang member. I'm not saying all that, okay? I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying, he was basically trying to intimidate me. So he got one of his goons, right? I don't want to call him goons, sorry. I don't want to call him a goon. There's a reason why I don't want to call him that, but he was part of his crew, right? So this guy, I remember one day I was going to my locker and I just got the Iversons, the new Iversons. I think it was the Answer 3s. And I love these shoes. I loved those shoes so much. And I wore them, you know what I mean? And it was the hottest shit, you know what I mean? It's AI, baby. AI, Allen Iverson, let's go. And he just came over and I guess he was trying to relay that intimidation, but he couldn't because I was cool with this guy, right? I won't say his name. Let's call him, again, this is not his name, but I'm not going to say his name. His name, let's just say for the story's sake, again, Jimmy, okay? So Jimmy was like, I'm doing a lot of J's, Gina and Jimmy. I'm sorry. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So Jimmy came over, was like, yo, what's up, dude? You know, he was trying to, but he couldn't take himself seriously because he's like, he knew me, you know, and we were cool. Like we were, you know, there was no beef between us. So he was trying, we just threw up, you know, said a joke or some shit. And then he went back to his crew to, I don't know, to report back to Gina's older brother. And, you know, ultimately he just said, dude, I can't, dude, that's Mahmoud, man. I can't, I can't mess with him. Yeah. And this is before I was Moody. Moody didn't happen until freshman year in high school. So, you know, everyone in the American way, they say my name as, you know, they pronounce it Mahmoud. Okay. So, you know, he's like, yeah, that's Mahmoud, man. He cool, bro. I can't fuck with him. You know what I mean? And so Jimmy was, thank goodness, you know what I mean? And that was my reputation throughout my entire academic career. Okay. I was always the diplomat. I knew at least one or two individuals in every clique. And that was much more apparent in high school because that's what high school is about, right? All these different types of cliques. And I was cool with everybody. So I made sure I was cool with everybody. I had no beef with nobody. You know what I mean? So, and everybody knew me. So, and he's like, nah, man, I can't do it. No, just leave him be, man. Leave him. He's cool. He ain't doing nothing wrong. So after that, I sort of got the hint. I'm like, okay, I see what's up, Gina. But okay, cool. You know, and after that, I just never spoke to her again. And I would see her around campus here and there. And then, of course, I think she went to a different city. She moved to a different city later on. Anyway, so just recently, literally a couple of weeks ago, not a couple of weeks ago. I think it's been a few weeks, I think. Yeah. We just sort of reconnected through Instagram. It was just so weird. She just followed me one day. And I was like, holy shit, is this the same? But, oh, yes, there is no, you know, she has a very unique name. Okay, so that's why I can't say her name because it can't just be anybody, you know what I mean? But she's a very unique name. So I was like, well, I don't know anybody else with this name, unlike the person I, once knew back in elementary school. So I was like, oh shit. So I followed her immediately, followed her back. And we just, again, it was just one of those things we just caught up like nothing had changed, we were just comfortable just chatting away and, sort of bonding over certain things, and we still do. And I just mentioned this to her just yesterday, last night. I was just like, it's so crazy. Like we haven't seen each other, haven't spoken to each other literally since we were 11, 12 years old, right? 12, 13 years old, right? That's right before high school. So yeah, and now we're grown ass people, she's got kids, wonderful kids. And so, no longer lives in the same town, of course, but yeah, it's just so strange, the type of connections we have in life. And I just wanted to sort of touch on that because, again, it's just like that we have so different types of dynamics and different types of chemistry with so many different people. And I'm blessed to have each and one of those, and I don't have beef with anybody. Like I've said so many times, I'm cool with all my exes. I talk to them, not necessarily on a regular basis, but quite often, and that's not any red flags. Fucking chill. Okay. Jesus Christ. All my exes are healthy and beautiful. Some of them are married. Some of them are getting married. Some of them have kids and have a wonderful life. They're grown ass adults. We have grown ass mature, friendship. Okay. So that's that. Again, different dynamics with different people. That's all it is. Different types of chemistries and relationships we have. And but there was one individual I don't talk to, one ex that I don't talk to because, again, it's maybe just too fresh or, whatever it is. And maybe down the line we sort of reconnect and be cool with each other because I personally don't have beef. The other person might have beef, not cool with each other. I remember not too long ago, I ended a 15-year friendship with someone who I was very close to, but she and I had like a stupid tiff, and that was that. Again, it's just it is what it is. I just don't hang on to it. I don't think it's healthy to hang on to it. It might cause some trauma, of course. A lot of people deal with it, but for me, I'm just like, yeah, dude, I'm cool. Maybe it's because I grew up alone. Ultimately, I learned a lot of things on my own, or I learned a lot of things with being with my friends. I was a child to working parents, so it's not their fault. But that's how, that's how life sort of pans out. It's crazy. It's wild, man. It's wild and it's crazy. And so shout out to her. I won't say her name, but maybe down the line. Again, this is I like to protect people's privacy when it comes to. I mean, this is my podcast, but it should be more about me and pop culture and all that shit. So I'm blessed. It's wonderful. It broke my heart because this was a crush of mine, and all of a sudden she just flipped the script and we ain't friends no more. So that was hard. It was rough, and maybe that was sort of one of those things that stuck with me. That was such an impactful, change in my early years, right? So that kind of stuck with me. But again, I don't hold grudges. It was just so cool for her to just reach out and follow me all of a sudden, because we do have mutual friends, but just follow me, and we haven't properly caught up on each other's lives. We kind of sort of take our time. It's a pace, very pacing kind of way. We'll drop like little gems here and there. And it's just cool, man. It's just really cool to see, how far we've come and how we are now as adults. I mean, think about it. That's insane, dude. When 13 years old, I'm 30, we're both 37 now. That's a lot. That's 24 years, bro. That's crazy. That's a long time. Wow. It's kind of like a weird type of, unorthodox reunion, if you want to call it. Anyways. So with that down, let's get into the entertainment segment of the podcast. We're gonna go into So I saw this film. I was really looking forward to it because it's Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy's one of my favorite. He's my favorite comedian of all time. But also him coming back. He's doing things here and there. Has a Netflix deal, so he's doing movies, and he's still working on that stand-up thing, so I've heard. So I don't know when his next stand-up is gonna come out. But obviously I'm hyped. I want to watch this. It's Eddie Murphy, and of course if you look at the the show I'm talking about is Netflix's You People. Okay, so essentially it's a rom-com. But there is a lot of if you look at the synopsis, it's follows a new couple and their families who find themselves examining modern love and family dynamics amidst clashing cultures, societal expectations, and generational differences. That just sums it up right there. And I personally enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. And it's something I said on Instagram, is going to win awards? No, but I think it is a worthwhile watch for sure. This isn't my recommendation of the week, but only because I know a lot of people have already watched it, so I'm not gonna recommend you something that you've already seen. But I just want to put my thoughts on it out there. So my notes on it. If you look at the cast, you got Jonah Hill, Lauren London. Their chemistry was awesome. I really enjoyed the chemistry. So cool. I've always been an admirer of Lauren London, and I thought it was really good. Such a good sort of character to come back into to play. After her own personal tragedies in life, and to come back and be a part of a film like this, I thought it was wonderful. And her chemistry with Jonah Hill, I think, is awesome. I thought it was fantastic. I really did. And Eddie Murphy, of course, plays Lauren London's father, and it's a Muslim family. He plays a gentleman named Akbar, or Akbar if you want to get Urdu on it. He plays Akbar, and Nia Long plays Fatima. Nia Long, of course, oh my God, Nia Long, a goddess. One of our huge crushes back in the 90s. Nia Long plays Fatima, Eddie Murphy's wife, and Lauren London's mother. Then Julia Louis Dreyfus, of course, legend. She plays as Jonah Hill's mother, and David Duchovny, another legend, plays as his father. And there's so many big names in this movie, whether it's maybe for a couple of scenes or sprinkled throughout here and there. So a lot of wonderful names. Mike Epps is in it, of course. Elliot Gould, Dion Cole. Who else was it? Sam Jay plays as Mo. Jonah Hill's, I guess, bestie and podcast partner in the film. Who else is in there? Lala Anthony makes it, of course. Young Miami's in there. Our boy Andrew Schultz is in there. So shout out to Andrew Schultz. I thought he did great. He said he sucked in it, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that he was talking about, but I didn't think he was that bad. I think he did pretty well. It's pretty funny. So yeah, it's just a wonderful film, and it really is, again, like what I just basically said, what basically says in the synopsis. But yeah, it's a comedy. It's a romantic comedy. But there's a lot of, sort of a lot of serious undertones, a lot of, things that we deal on a daily basis. Again, it's not like an award-winning film, but I think it's an important film. I think it's an entertaining film, and you'll definitely get something out of it. And it's definitely made for a streaming platform kind of deal. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's worth the watch for sure. But the recommendation of the week, what I will say is a documentary. It is a documentary called what? I thought I wrote this down. Oh my God. Anyways, it's called Pamela, A Love Story. Okay. Of course, for those who don't know, she was an icon, absolute icon, growing up in the 90s. Pamela Anderson was the it girl, from Playboy to Baywatch and other movies we're not going to talk about. Some failed movies, some controversial ones. If you've watched the show Pam and Tommy on Hulu, you kind of owe it to yourself to see this, because this is coming from Pamela Anderson herself. This is from her perspective, word for word. It's sort of like, from the horse's mouth kind of, so to speak. So it's her account, right? Because whatever you saw on Hulu, those are actors playing out a script, and, there's a lot of creative liberties that were taken and things like that. It's also, hints of fiction here and there for dramatized, that's dramatized, for dramatic purposes, which is understandable. But this is it's a documentary. It's from her perspective, her account. And I think it was wonderfully done. I thought it was beautifully done, simply because, especially if you were familiar and you grew up in that era, and, like me, and, we just, admired her. I thought Pamela Anderson was dope. But even though I was more of a Carmen Electra guy, I was, when Carmen Electra was on Baywatch and everyone's like, oh my God, who's better? Pamela or Carmen? I was a Carmen guy. I loved Carmen Electra, but, Pamela Anderson was a fucking legend, and, we loved her too. So you see it from her, there's a lot of trauma, obviously, from her younger years. There's a lot of things that you probably already know, but there are a lot of things that you don't know, which gets into, that's portrayed in this documentary, I think, and it was done very well. I think they did it wonderfully, because she sort of provides just boxes of letters that she used to write. Letters as in, they were written on a legal pad, and she has a bunch of legal pads, and it was kind of like her diary, So these are like sort of like journal entries, and everything she would think of, she was just write, because she didn't want to forget certain things. So she had an account of a lot of stuff, things, the times she was molested, the times that she was raped, and the time that she was, yeah. So I mean, so many fucking traumatic shit, experiences that she had to deal with, and she had to overcome. And she doesn't play the victim, which is the most admirable thing, and just more power to her. Even though she went through that, of course she deals, we deal with trauma, we deal with loss in a very different way. When my mother passed away, obviously I used comedy as I just joke around. We have very dark jokes with my friends, and she kind of takes that in that same stride, which I think is, some folks like us are like that. and one of those wonderful elements in this series, sorry, the documentary of watching too many series, is that those writings that Pamela had written for since she was a kid, she was actually asked this by the filmmakers, if she wants to read them out loud, and she was like, no, I don't want to get back into that. It's very traumatic and stuff. And then if I do read them, I'm gonna be quite, she's gonna sort of disrupt the filmmaking process. And I thought that was so astute of her to say that, because she's like, no, here, I'm providing you these letters, or I'm providing you the writings, and so they basically got another girl to do the voiceover, to read out the, her notepads, or her, diary entries, or what do you want to call them. And it gives so much more authenticity and just this vulnerability that you may probably not have seen in other documentaries, because I think they filter a lot of those things out, especially if it's about a certain someone and that person's still still alive, and they're actually part of the filmmaking process. So I think that was really cool of her to do that. She's like, this is me raw, and this is what I went through, and just have at it. You know what I mean? I don't want to sort of throw a monkey wrench in there and be like, no, you can't read this, or you can't do this. You know what? That's a no. That's a red light on this. And the filmmakers sort of not only embraced that, but respected that. I'm pretty sure there are certain things that they didn't read out loud, and they thought there was maybe it's best to just keep that aside. Anyways, I thought it was it's just wonderfully done. It really is, and highly recommend it. It's Pamela, A Love Story. It's on Netflix. Check it out. And the other things that you might want to check out that you probably haven't checked out already, and since we're still on the hype of The Last of Us Episode 3, oh my God. A lot of people are saying, and I kind of agree, a lot of critics, I should say, and even fans, what have you, the consensus is Episode 3 is probably the finest, the highest quality, finest executed television in the history of television. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not exaggerating. I mean, it really, it's what you want out of the filmmaking process. It is so fucking beautifully done. And it's something, a lot of it, a huge chunk of it, actually, we don't actually see in the game. You don't see this in the video game. We don't experience it. We don't see it. So I think that was a brilliant idea by the showrunners to sort of divert from the games, the game's narration, or script, I should say, and go into completely different for the audience on television. I think anyways, it was a beautiful move. Episode 3 is by far the best one. If you look at it overall, it was wonderful, and it just I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I highly recommend you watch Last of Us. If not, just watch Episode 3. It was just, oh my God, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful performances by the usual. Of course, Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, they hold their own. They're holding their own weight. Fantastically placed. But I think, of course, the highlight of Episode 3 was, Nick Offerman. He is Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett. These two, mind-blowing performances. But just the whole episode was just so beautifully fucking shot, and beautifully, the storytelling, wonderful, just wonderfully executed, and the direction, and just, you have to watch it for yourself. I cannot sell this more than what critics are already saying. There's a reason why they're saying what they're saying. This is just brilliant, unbelievable television. It won me over last episode, but, and when I mean won me over, I mean in the sense that, I've played the game, so I know what's going on and stuff, but this episode definitely, it hits hard, man. It hits hard. It's a heartbreaking love story. Let me just put it that way. If you haven't seen it already, but you guys know, if you have, you know what I'm talking about. The other, and let's stay in HBO. Just what we mentioned at the top of the show, or the top of the episode. My top 10 HBO shows of all time. And of course, this obviously changes periodically when a new show comes up or whatever. The Last of Us might go down this list later on in the near future. We don't know. But yeah, I just want to quickly run through it because if it's in my top 10, it's highly recommendable if you haven't already seen it. So go out and, just jot this down. Or if you're watching it, you're seeing it on YouTube, whatever. But if you're listening, whatever it is, just jot it down. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. HBO has a rich, wonderful history of incredible television, award-winning television. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go from number 10 all the way to number 1. Okay, so number 10 is The Night Of. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all seen it. It's a mini series, right? It's a mini series. It's a one-off, but holy fuck, what a show, right? It stars, of course. Oh my God, my mind's going blank. Why is my mind going blank? It's The Night Of. Oh, come on. He's like one of my favorite actors. So why am I going? I'm having dementia. That's what's happening. Early onset dementia. Riz Ahmed. Fuck, I'm so stupid. God, I forgot it. I haven't. Damn it. All right, anyways. Riz Ahmed, The Night Of, at number 10. Number 9 is True Detective Season 1. True Detective Season 1. The other ones they tried. The other seasons have tried, but of course it's kind of a, each season is sort of an anthology. So, different town, different detectives. But, I mean, no, they have not been able to top Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. You know what I mean? I mean, those two, it was such a huge surprise. I mean, obviously not too much of a surprise because it's HBO, but who would have thought those two would fucking kill it? And their chemistry is just amazing. They're little legendary actors, but that's number 9, True Detective. Number 8 is The White Lotus, season 2. Not a surprise. I've already, talked plenty about it. Number 7, it's still ongoing, Succession. The White Lotus is also ongoing, but Succession at number 7. This is one of the, this is written so fucking well, and the comedy is so unique. It's just delivered, and the performances, the whole cast, just fucking hell. And Brian Cox, as the patriarch of the family, with again with a wonderful cast, just funny as hell and sharp as fuck. I love it. Number 6 is Boardwalk Empire. I know I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about Boardwalk Empire. I don't know why. Of course, it stars Steve Buscemi, and takes place in the Roaring '20s in the U.S. And it's the beginning of the whole not beginning, but sort of like the boom of it is the Roaring '20s. They're going into the the Great Depression. It's after World War One, and we're getting into that lifestyles of the rich and dastardly people. The mafia is involved in everything. We get introduced to Lucky Luciano, and so many more iconic gangsters of the past. Why am I forgetting about one of the most? Come on, man, Scarface. Oh my god. Hold on. I know this. Muggsy. No, not Muggsy Bogues. That's a fucking NBA player. God, I'm so stupid. I ill prepared. I apologize. And Kelly McDonald's in it as well, who I'm a huge fan of. I love Kelly McDonald. Michael Kenneth Williams, of course, rest in peace. He's in it as well. He's there too. Michael Shannon, wonderful. I'm just reading the list of cast here, but oh my god, come on. Real historically, actual people. They're not just characters, Al Capone, oh my god. How could I forget Al Capone? Holy shit, you go back to fucking Chicago. And, the Meyer Lansky and, just the whole list. Boardwalk Empire. If you have not watched Boardwalk Empire, what the hell? It takes place, in New York and Atlantic City. It's really just around, usually just Atlantic City during the Prohibition era. So, yeah, it's the whole East Coast gangster life in the Boardwalk Empire. That is number 6. Number 5, we go to Entourage. I don't need to say more about that. Entourage. Number 4, Game of Thrones. Not surprising. I know. Number 4, right? You're like, what? Number 4? Yeah, because I'll tell you what, the top 3 is fucking great. And I have not put Dance of the Dragons, or sorry, the Dance of the Dragon, House of the Dragons, even though that's the actual title of the source. House of the Dragon, because, it's only been one season, but so we have yet to see it. Maybe again, it'll break into this top 10. So at 4 is Game of Thrones. At number 3 is Rome. If there was no Rome, I don't think there would be Game of Thrones. Honestly, God, for those who are in the circle, who are cinephiles, or, you love TV shows, and you know what I'm talking about. Okay. You know why. Oh shit. Sorry. I just jumped there. Oh my God. I read that wrong. Oh my God. I'm so stupid. Okay. Sorry. Number 3 is The Sopranos. Okay. The Sopranos, that show is, I don't think any other gangster, story, whatever, has topped that. Close to that is Boardwalk Empire, but The Sopranos, I mean, shit. It's in, it's kind of in a similar fabric as Goodfellas and all that, but I just went back recently on HBO and I'm watching all the episodes again, all the way from season 1. I'm at season 6 now, so The Sopranos, oh my God, is so fucking good television. Holy shit. So please check that out. If you haven't seen it, I'm telling you, you're missing out. It's one of the greatest shows of all time. Rome is at number 2. I apologize, Rome. Why is Rome at number 2? Is because, like I said, no Game of Thrones. Rome was too expensive at the time. When it was out, it was too expensive. HBO, of all fucking, studios, they couldn't afford it because it was first of all, it was so good. I'm talking about the direction, the writing, the performances, the actors, everything you want to put in a production. Rome was fucking amazing. And it was also too expensive at the time. So when we look at the budget for things like the Game of Thrones now, we look, oh my God, it's a lot of... Rome was up there, dude. I mean, for that time, it was up there. And Rome, again, after I finish The Sopranos, I'm going to go back and watch Rome because it is one of the greatest television you will ever fucking see. It was fucking, it takes place, of course, in the Julius Caesar era, just, oh my God, just one... You got to see it. You got to fucking see it. Anyways, and number 1 is The Wire. The Wire, to me, is not just only HBO's best show of all time, produced of all time. It is the greatest television show of all time. The Wire takes place in Baltimore. It's a crime story. It's a crime show, and that is the most realistic depiction of law against the lawless, and in a deprived city like Baltimore, especially back in the day. Okay, so I can again, this is just the top 10. I wanted to briefly go through it as quick as possible. Like I've run over the fucking time limit right now, so I got to wrap this thing up. But The Wire, to me, again, is not only do you see a lot of legendary actors who've paved their own path as cast members from each season, but again, it is the most realistic, I believe, depiction of what could be, of what is actually, and it still kind of goes on right now. It's not that big of a difference from when The Wire first came out to 2023. What's happening in these cities, in the States, but. It's beautiful. It's a beautifully shot show, and every season feels like a very, very, very stupid long movie. It's my favorite show of all time. If you haven't watched The Wire, please do. It is the art of filmmaking. It's beautiful. With that said, I've probably said beautiful like 100 times on this episode, but I don't know how to explain it without going into a complete fucking review of each show. Again, I've run way over the fucking limit. With that said, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you for listening here. It's episode 48, House of Moody Vintage podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Thank you for watching us and watching us. Just me, myself, and I. That's us. And so until next time, see y'all next week. Hope you have a great week and a great weekend. Remember to treat yourselves and be kind to yourselves and others. Okay? Until then, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I've overstayed my welcome. Okay? I'm out. Peace.